I've just locked up and gone back into the back of the blue car and popped the red guy, so I pulled over and killed the engine. Oh, sorry guys.
Way to make an entrance, isn't it?
Morning.
Morning, you alright?
Yeah, his job in the afternoon, if this morning goes to plan, in terms of we get the pace down to a rough position of where we want to be, his job in the afternoon is to sit on your bumper and try and make you fuck up.
Yeah.
Whether
I will use the flasher. They better be working.
Yeah, they will, like whether he's weaving, putting a fake lunge on, whatever, his job is to try and make you fuck up.
Okay, so we are at Snetterton 300 for the penultimate round of the 2025 TCR UK Championship. It's been a difficult one for me to get back into, to be honest. I think 2 months out of the car has been a bigger hindrance than I thought it would be. We've had so much momentum this year that stalling on that momentum, there's some lessons that aren't quite into kind of muscle memory yet. But after a couple of days of running, we're getting pretty close to being on good pace. We've got one guy that's streets ahead of us at the moment, Adam Shepherd, who this is his local track. He's one of the best touring car drivers in Europe, and he's probably done 5,000 laps here. So for us to think that we were going to come and smash him was probably an overreach anyway. But yeah, we're getting faster.
Really good start today. We arrived by helicopter, which was a first. I could definitely get used to it though. It was very cool. It was a bit of a slow day for me, to be fair. Times were nowhere near where they should be, and they still are now, to be fair. I've just not found my grips on this track. There's a lot of corners to screw up on. It's not like it's where it's gone into, there was like 9 corners or whatever. There's like good 11, 12 corners here, right? 14? Yeah, there's loads. See, I can't remember all of them. Yeah, I got down to like a 57.6, 5, I think. Not my best. I was here end of last year and I got 56.8, so a bit disheartening for me, but team's working hard, the car's mega, it's just all in me now. I'm just, yeah, there's been a few changes in car since then. It's made it a bit more a handful to manage, but when you get it right, and it's fast. So just learning that quickly has been a bit too challenging. Plus, me and Dad have been quite busy over the last, well, few months to be fair, but it's been a bit of a challenging few months for us. So to come into race weekends with the full energy we used to have is a bit harder. Friday was a really weird day. First 2 sessions, I got back to where I was the day before. I think a bit faster, I think a 57.3, 57.2 is where I got to. Milton was like a 57 dead, which is a bit closer to the mile, but still miles off. Like Adam's at 55s, I should be down at 56s at least. The third session, I was coming on the straight on my new tyres, about to start my first flying lap, hot lap shall I say. Dad and Adam coming out the pits. Adam decided to just ignore the rules, go across the white line and go straight into the racing line on track.
John off on turn one. That was my fault. Sorry, Sam.
Dad then, because Dad went behind him, Dad then followed him. And then I got pushed off onto the grass, went off into the barrier, which was not fun. The car had a bit of damage, new bumper was needed, new rear lights. Trailing arm, I think, was bent in the process as well. I was more annoyed about the tyres. Like I was on for a good lap. I think I was on for my 56. I was in the rhythm and I was about to go and get my push lap on my new tyres, and yeah, I just got cut short.
No,
I didn't even see
no,
it.
but what I said, that's why I didn't want you going crazy.
Yeah,
technically,
it starts from here, look, from Adam doing the blend line, really. This is where the incident starts.
He was fucking the pit lane before Stadio.
No, here, he goes across the solid white line.
Yeah.
There, so he's already so he's gone there, then Steve moves across and fucking hell, that was close.
But it stemmed from him posting in the pit lane, that's what stemmed it on.
Yeah, definitely stemmed from that.
And then the fourth session, it started raining. So, yeah, just a bit of a weird day this Friday. But in the evening, we discovered something that could make our weekend a little bit more fun. We got mentioned by a friend of ours that Britcar were still taking entries. So we called Claire at Britcar up at like 7:30, I think it was. And yeah, called them up, got signed on that evening, and that was Friday. So Saturday morning, we had Britcar qualifying. I was actually quite shocked to see how far behind some of the TCR cars were. Like, some of them were doing 206s, and I was doing that in the wet on slicks the day before. It was a big change in pace compared to the TCR grid. So yeah, I qualified 5th overall, 2nd in class. Dad qualified 4th overall, 1st in class. I threw away a bit of a time on there. I kept hitting track limits. It just seemed like we were on a pushy, well, not pushy, unpredictable track that day compared to the days before. There was a few times I had to back out of corners and I lost like 6/10 because of it. That had put me down, actually probably in 3rd behind the Cup cars. But yeah, qualifying went well for that. After that was TCR qualifying. That didn't go so well.
So we have qualied okay today. I think we've qualied 3rd and 4th, or 4th and 5th, something like that. We always make good starts, so I think we'll hopefully make a good place at the start of the race. So TCR, I got like 1 million laps deleted, which was not fun. The track was just too unpredictable for me to get to grips of in that short session. I finished 4th in the end, which isn't where I wanted to be. But we've got a few fast drivers in there now. We've got Adam, he's always been fast. Max Hall's come back in for the last 2 rounds. He was always a fast guy. George Jackson, fucking hell, praises to him. He has made some massive developments. He's obviously been working very, very hard. He's also in his new VZ. He seems to have found some nice setup on there. But yeah, really well done to him. Annoying that I'm not in front of him though. But
let's see what the race. Let's see what happens to the race. So Callum is starting at the back because he's got a new Elantra, and so is George Jackson because he's got a new car. So I'll be starting third on the grid, which puts me just behind Adam and along behind to the side of Max Hall, hoping to get down the inside of him on turn 1. Yeah, I think the race is going to be very interesting. I think anything can happen at Snetterton, especially with the weather that's been coming up recently, like it's hit or miss. After qualifying, when the way it did, the TCR drivers in our class complained about how fast we were compared to them. I mean, that's part of racing, is it not? You don't see Lando Norris complaining about Max Verstappen being faster sometimes, and the same other way around. It just is what it is, I guess. But they gave us a 20-second penalty on both of our pit stops to serve an extra time in there, which leads me to the race of Britcar. Now that was a fun race. However, it was a bit chaotic. We were in the pits, getting ready. We were on slicks. You can use heated tyres in there, so we were using those. We were a bit unsure as to how the weather was going to turn out. We went around for the green flag and got to the grid, and it started throwing it down, like absolutely throwing it down. So we got wets on the grid. Now that gave us a drive-through penalty, but for most of the people on the grid did get a drive-through penalty as well. The way Britcar works, you have a minimum set pit time per class. Now, because me and Dad were so much faster than these guys, we got a separate pit time allocated to us, which is 20 seconds extra per pit stop. We had mandatory 2 pit stops. So that put us back 40 seconds over the race. I mean, at that point, it feels like we're giving a participation award out. Like, a bit stupid, to be fair. I think that removes the entire point of racing, does it not? If I knew that, I'd have just sandbagged quality and beat them all there. But yeah, it is what it is. Anyway, so the race was absolutely throwing it down. We got to the grid on slicks, and it started breaking all hell loose.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Snetterton start-finish straight. He has just started to chuck it down here as well.
It was safety car for like, I think 10 laps, was it? 18. Yeah, safety car for 18 minutes. Like that's just a bit crazy. But it kept my body alive. It wasn't as endurance style as I thought it was going to be, because it was quite a short race, you know. I think it was about an hour and a bit.
Lights around to top the safety car. Meanwhile, we are going racing this time.
After we did the pit stop, when the second safety car came out, we did the pit stop. It was the best time to do it, to get one out of the way. We had a full tank, so we didn't need to pit stop for fuel. All we were doing it for tyres. And because it was wet, I went on the same tyres. I didn't change tyres at all. So yeah, when we came for the pit stop, because we had the 20 seconds each extra there, we went from being 4th and 5th to like 13th and 14th in the grid. And so we had to go through the pack of unpredictable cars, because a lot of them are rear-wheel drive and with new drivers in them. It was a bit nerve-wracking, to be fair. Like, it was so bad visibility, and the water was getting really bad. It was quite hard to tell where people were braking, what they were going to do on the corner. Like, some people would go perfectly in line the next corner, and then the one after they go way too deep and go off into the grass. Like, there was like, I think there was 7 crashes in that race, which was a bit crazy. But anyway, I was behind my dad. I started just gaining a bit too much time, so I had to make a move on him. I couldn't not. I needed to get back into the front of it. I wanted that overall. I had the pace for it. I wanted it badly, so I had to get past him, and then just move my way through the field. went from 13th to P1 overall, actually, in the end. And then the Cup car took me, the white one. The white Cup car had a pro driver in it, and he was very quick, very quick. But yeah, I got to that point down to P2 overall, and I came for a pit stop. I had about a 60-second lead on people behind me at that point. So with a pit stop, I think I came out like 6th in the end, just in front of my dad. That's all pit stops done at that point. And then I got an intercom radio after I made 2 more places up to 4th, saying that we had a drive-through penalty. No, stop and go, it was, because our allocated time for a pit stop was 238 seconds, I think it was. Our time was 237.9 seconds. We were a 10th short, so they gave me a stop and go of a second, which took about 20 to 30 seconds out of my time. So that just put me back a bit further than I needed to be. The annoying thing is, if I hadn't had that and I finished P3 overall, which would have been a really cool thing to do, going against these Aston Martins, McLarens, Porsche Cup cars. They've all got ABS. Like, I'm sat here with a car with no ABS, that's front wheel drive, low power compared to these things. Like, I understand that it's hard to race in the wet with high power, but when it didn't dry up, but when it started to become dealable at the end, they were all gone, and I was still passing. So it was a rewarding race for me. I came first in class, P4 overall. I was teased by the podium of overall. So yeah, but that is what it is. Sometimes it just happens. Now we know next time we're going to do an endurance race to put an extra 2/10 of the time on the pit stop. The team did awesome to get the cars out. They weren't the happiest, especially Rob. He was stressed about us crashing one of the cars, as we used one of our spare cars for the race, and Dad used his own car that he was racing in TCR today, which is Sunday. So yeah, it went really well. We got some trophies. I was fastest in class by about 5 seconds. So yeah, that was a good day.
It looks like we're going to have 2 races today. One is most likely going to be dry, the other one's most likely going to be wet. So if it is wet, I think that reduces the deficiency between Sam and I and Adam. We tend to be pretty good in wet conditions. We've had some good wins and some good results like that. We got a bit of extra practice yesterday because we at last minute entered into the Britcar Endurance with both cars. We had resounding success in there. I think we're about 7 seconds a lap faster than any other TCR car. Finished a very dominant P1, P2 in class. We beat quite a lot of the GT4s and higher spec cars as well. So that's a great precursor to today's racing. So the hope is we're going to go out today, regain a little bit more mojo on track in a race scenario after a couple of testing and tough rounds, have some fun and pick up some trophies.
Right, so TCRs today. I'm starting behind Adam, and I'm alongside and behind Max Hall. I need to get on the other side of them quickly to get in front of them before all carnage happens behind, because Snetterton is a very, very scary track, especially that second hairpin. So I need to get out ahead, take that first place, and bring it home.
Red lights are about to go on. It is the first race of 2 this afternoon. TCR UK here at Snetterton. Adam Shepherd and Max Hall on the front row together. Lights out, off they go. Red will start for Max Hall. And so it will be... start pushing, and George Jackson, I think, is now the one we really need to focus on.
Yeah, George Jackson getting on with it, isn't he? And now he's up with Steve Laidlaw, isn't he? It's a good effort.
That was mint though.
Yeah, that was good racing. I enjoyed that. Well done, mate.
Cheers. Position. I've got George going past me with a very planted rear end that's driving in a very safe manner. The rear is not moving and I cannot hang on to mine anywhere. Turn 1, it wants to kill me. Turn 2, it wants to go out. It's mostly the right-handers, but even round Coram, like, I'm nowhere near where we were at. It feels really, really sketchy. Have we changed back from the wet setup? 100%? Something's wrong on the rear, 100%.
Everyone's really slow though. Like, I mean, Adam's way off where he was. Everyone's way off. We're way off, don't get me wrong, but we're more way off.
I shouldn't be having Brad Hutchinson drive straight past me like that.
No, I agree.
As soon as his tyres came in, I had nothing.
But
The first thing we need to do is set it down and find out what's different, because there's something not right on the back of the car. Not like it's been at any point.
But what I don't get is why you two both looked really quick at the start. Like, he looked like he was going to have a go at Adam.
Yeah, because we had hot tyres. Yeah, Adam was swerving to get. As soon as everyone got heated, they were driving past us like we were stood still.
Yeah, but with the greatest respect, Steve, take this the right way. Your tyres are only going to get hotter, not colder, and you've got the biggest peak of tyre at the start at the end. So if you're at that speed at the start, it should only get better, not worse.
Right, can we do this?
Yeah.
Before we call me out for being wrong.
No, I'm not saying
No, but I'm saying this, like, I don't come in and bring excuses when I come in out of a race.
Yeah.
I come in and say, what can I improve? I am telling you that the rear of the car felt like I had oil on the tyres, and I was thinking I had an oil leak. It was that bad.
Okay.
I'm really having to work super hard to manage it. I've got no confidence. It's not confidence, it's not me thinking it's going to slide, it is actually sliding every turn.
Lights are about to go on, and the second race of the weekend from Snetterton in TCR UK about to get underway. Lights out, the pole into Harry Ford. Inside of Steve Laidlaw, who gets him straight back again. Corner exit, not great for Newsham. And Sam Laidlaw sees an opportunity to get alongside as well. Sam Laidlaw with a spin coming out of the bomb hole. Newsham continues. That was almost big, very big indeed. The next car should be Will Beach, then Steve Laidlaw, and then it should be Callum Newsham. So we've got the Cupra VZ of Steve Laidlaw not there either. So Steve Laidlaw and Callum Newsham, I think, I'm right in saying, Paul, are not there. So there has been a drama in the first sector. Here is Steve Laidlaw. So Steve Laidlaw's car pointing the wrong way, but has that involved one of our championship contenders, Paul?
No. Hello. What, you put your camera away? It's not worth it anymore.
It's too wet. Seriously, what the fuck, man? I don't know. You're buzzing. Jesus Christ, I'm kind of speechless before the first.
Well, it seems like me and Dad are very slow these days. Yeah, a bit of a shit weekend for TCR. Britcar was a massive high. TCR, maybe not, but we'll come back at Brands and then on to the next championship, I think. I'm sick of TCR. I'm sick of the UK. It's too rainy.
Here you see a lesser spot of Tom Damon, wild, in his natural environment, pretending to race car, actually playing on Candy Crush. Oh, I think he just made a level up there. The concentration is real.
Someone's one of the blue car today, one of the no one's in.
Yeah.
Second row, 13 miles past Castle alongside 121 Barry Claymore, row 3, 172 Theo Beato, and number 83 Jonathan Evans. In terms of the trophy